My wife and daughter left me for a barista. They met at a coffee shop. Then karma hit hard. My wife of 5 years abandoned me and our 4-year-old daughter for some 23-year-old barista she met 3 months ago. She took my two stepsons, but left our baby girl behind. They've been living in my car in random parking lots while she posts about finding her soulmate. Now everything's falling apart, and guess who she's running back to? So here's the situation. September 7th, 2022. That's the day my whole life got flipped upside down. I'm 39, been married for 5 years to this woman who's 35. We've got a 4-year-old daughter together. She's also got two boys from her previous relationship. One's 11, the other's 14. I've been raising those kids like they're mine since day one. Changed diapers, went to school events, coached the older one's basketball team last year, helped with homework every night. I'm not their bio dad, but I've been their real dad for half a decade. About 3 months back, we stopped at this local coffee place to grab something while we were running errands. Nothing fancy, just one of those neighborhood spots with mismatched furniture and indie music playing too loud. The kind of place where college kids camp out with laptops for 6 hours after buying one latte. The guy working there, this barista, he kept chatting her up. She kept looking at him, smiling, laughing at everything he said. The whole deal. I noticed, but I didn't think much of it at first. People are friendly, right? I ended up talking to the guy too because I had a Packers hoodie on and he said he was a huge Packers fan. We talked about last season for a minute. Whatever. Small talk. Moved on with my day. Looking back, that conversation was way longer than it needed to be. She was asking him about his schedule, what days he worked, if he was always at this location. Red flags everywhere, but I was too trusting. Too stupid. Here's the thing though. I work 10-hour days. Sometimes 12. She hates it. Always complains about it. But she's a stay-at-home wife and I pay every single bill we have, so yeah, I gotta be gone. The house doesn't pay for itself. The groceries don't magically appear. Someone's gotta handle business. The mortgage is $2,800 a month. Utilities, insurance, car payments, groceries for 5 people, kids' activities, clothes, school supplies. It adds up fast. I'm not complaining about being the provider. That was always the deal we had. She wanted to stay home and I was fine with that. But she can't then turn around and complain that I'm gone too much. Turns out, while I was out working my tail off, she was seeing this coffee shop guy every single day, behind my back, meeting up with him while I thought she was home taking care of the house and kids. The younger boy told me later she'd drop them at school, then disappear for hours. Come back right before pickup time. Sometimes she wouldn't even make lunch. The boys would come home starving and she'd act like she'd been busy cleaning all day. The house was a mess though. Laundry piling up, dishes in the sink. But hey, she had time to drive across town to see some 23-year-old making minimum wage steaming milk. I found receipts in her purse about a week before everything exploded. Coffee shop receipts. Multiple times a day sometimes. 2 lattes, 2 pastries. I asked her about it casually. She said she was meeting her friend who was going through a rough time. I believed her. I trusted her. That's what you do when you're married, right? You trust your partner. Big mistake on my part. 3 weeks ago, I came home from work to an empty house. Well, not totally empty. Our 4-year-old was there, sitting on the couch watching cartoons like nothing was wrong. But my wife? Gone. The boys? Gone. She didn't even have the guts to tell me to my face. She sent me a text message. A text. 5 years of marriage, and she ends it via text, like we're teenagers breaking up after prom. The message said she was in love with the barista guy and she thinks he's her soulmate. She believes this is the real deal. Said she's never felt this way before, not even with me. That hurt more than anything. 5 years. A whole child together. I helped raise her boys. We built a life, and she's saying she never felt that way about me? Then what was all of it? What were those 5 years? I must have read that text 50 times that first night. Kept thinking maybe I misread it. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe she was hacked. But no, it was real. She left me for a guy who probably still lives with his parents and makes coffee for a living. I did some digging because that's what you do when your world implodes. Found his social media. The barista is 23 years old, barely finished community college, works part-time at the coffee shop, and does delivery gigs on the side. This guy has no apartment, no house, nothing. He's got a 10-year-old van that barely runs, and he shares it with his mom sometimes. So my wife and my 2 stepsons have been living in the car that I pay for, bouncing between different parks and parking lots around town. The absolute worst part? She left our 4-year-old behind. Just abandoned her. But she took the 2 boys who aren't even biologically mine. She blocked me on everything. Phone, social media, all of it. Complete ghosting. But her family members have been sending me screenshots of her posts on social media, talking about how happy she is now and how in love she is with her sexy man. One post said, "Finally found someone who gets me." Another was a picture of them together with the caption, "Real love hits different." Every post feels like a knife in the chest, like she's deliberately trying to hurt me. Maybe she is. Maybe that's part of the thrill for her. I can't eat, can't sleep, can't focus at work. I'm an operations manager at a logistics company, and I'm supposed to be making decisions that affect hundreds of people, but I can barely remember to put on matching socks. My boss pulled me aside last week and asked if everything was okay. I lied and said, yeah, just dealing with some family stuff. He gave me a look like he knew I was lying, but he didn't push it. My daughter cries every night asking where mommy went. She's 4. How do you explain to a 4-year-old that mommy left because she fell in love with a stranger? How do you tell a kid that young that sometimes people just abandon you without warning? I can't. So I just hold her and tell her mommy loves her, but had to go away for a while. It's not true, but what else am I supposed to say? Thank God my sisters and my mom stepped up. They've been taking care of my little girl while I'm at work during the week, and they watch her full-time on weekends, so I can try to get my head straight. My mom retired 2 years ago, so she's got the time. My older sister works from home, so she can be flexible. My younger sister is between jobs right now. They've basically created a rotation schedule for my daughter. I'm so grateful for them, but I also hate that this is necessary. This should be her mother's job. I'm walking around numb most days, just going through the motions. Wake up, get my daughter ready, drop her at my mom's, go to work, pretend to be functional, pick her up, make dinner, give her a bath, read her a story, put her to bed, lay awake until 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling. Repeat. Every single day is the same nightmare on a loop. I keep asking myself what I did wrong. I took care of this woman, loved her when she was sick, loved her kids like they were my own blood. The worst thing she ever said I did? I worked too much. I didn't have enough time for her. Well, sorry, but I'm the only one bringing in money. Someone's got to pay the mortgage and put food on the table. Last night was the cherry on top of this nightmare. I hear pounding on my door around 9 p.m. Loud banging. My daughter was already asleep, thank God. I look through the peephole and there's 2 cops standing there. My heart drops. I'm thinking something happened to the boys. Someone got hurt, maybe arrested. I open the door fast and there she is, standing behind the officers with her arms crossed, looking smug. They're escorting her in to collect her things. Apparently she called them and said I was refusing to let her get her belongings. Complete lie. I never said she couldn't get her stuff. She just never asked. But whatever, I'm not going to argue with cops at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday night. I'm so glad our daughter was asleep upstairs because seeing that would have destroyed her. My wife walked through the house like she owned the place, going through closets, grabbing clothes, throwing things in garbage bags. The cops stood there watching to make sure I didn't interfere. One of them asked if we could work this out civilly, and I said I'm trying, but she's the one who left and is now showing up with police. She grabbed her clothes and shoes and some other random stuff. Said to toss the rest because she's never coming back. Said it all cold. No emotion. Like she was talking about throwing out old newspapers. I looked outside through the front window and there he is. The barista. Sitting in the passenger seat of my car. The car I'm still paying $420 a month for. Just sitting there looking at his phone like this is all totally normal. Like he didn't just help destroy a family. I wanted to lose it right there, but I kept my cool. The cops would have arrested me if I went out there. So I just stood on my porch and watched her load garbage bags full of her stuff into my car, while her new boyfriend sat there doing nothing to help. This morning, she texts me, asking if I have gas money for her. Asks if I'll pay the car note this month. Says, maybe if I do, she'll talk to me face to face. That's the only way she'll communicate. I didn't even respond. What's there to say? I'm numb. Yeah, I worked a lot. Sorry I didn't have time to take you out to movies or fancy dinners every week, but we've never gone hungry one single day. We have a beautiful house. I gave you anything you asked for. Why not just communicate so I could have worked on being a better husband? But no, she just bailed. My wife is beautiful. I thought I was the lucky one. Now I'm seeing who she really is underneath all that. Some background you should know. Here's something wild that I should have paid more attention to from the start. When I first met her, she was homeless, living out of her car with the 2 boys. They were 6 and 9 at the time. My buddy threw a party about 6 years ago, and she showed up with some friends. She was laughing loud, dancing, drinking, having a great time. Everyone at the party noticed her. She's one of those women who lights up a room. Beautiful smile, great energy. Everyone wants to talk to her. I got pretty drunk that night. Not blackout drunk, but definitely beyond tipsy. When I woke up the next morning, she was in my bed, fully clothed, just laying there under the covers, holding on to me like we'd been together for years. We didn't hook up or anything. I was out cold. She later told me she felt safe with me and didn't want to sleep on the couch with all those strangers around. Made sense at the time. It's like she picked me out of a crowd and just latched on from that moment forward. She started coming over constantly, cooking for me, cleaning my apartment, acting like a girlfriend before we ever discussed being together. Within 2 weeks, she'd moved herself and the boys into my one-bedroom apartment. I didn't even really agree to it. It just happened. She made it feel natural, like this was always the plan. Looking back now, so many red flags. But she had this fun personality and she's really attractive. So I ignored all the warning signs. My boys tried to tell me to slow down. My sister said something felt off. My mom said she seemed like she was running from something. I defended her every time. Said they didn't know her like I did. Turns out they were right, and I was the fool. Before she met the barista guy, she actually seemed like a decent wife. She took care of the house. Not perfect, but good enough. She's an amazing cook, made dinner every night. Pot roast, lasagna, chicken parmesan, you name it. The woman could cook. She made sure I had lunch packed for work. She took care of me when I was tired, gave me back rubs after long shifts, listened when I vented about my boss. She seemed like a good mom too. Always hugging the kids, reading them bedtime stories, helping with homework, showing up to their school events. At least I thought so. The boys loved her. They'd never say it, but I could tell. When she'd walk in a room, they'd light up. When she cooked their favorite meals, they'd thank her multiple times. They felt safe with her for the first time in their lives. Their bio dad was never in the picture, and whoever she was with before me clearly didn't treat them right. I gave them stability. She gave them warmth. We were a good team, or so I thought. Then about 2 months ago, everything shifted. She started getting distant, withdrawn, stopped cooking as much, started ordering takeout more often, stopped asking about my day, stopped initiating any kind of affection. She'd be on her phone constantly, smiling at the screen, typing away. When I'd ask who she was talking to, she'd say her sister or one of her friends. I believed her because why wouldn't I? I thought maybe she was stressed about something she wasn't telling me. Maybe money stuff, even though I handle all the bills. Maybe something with the boys' school. Maybe health issues she was too embarrassed to bring up. I tried asking her a few times. She'd just say she was fine, just tired. I backed off because I didn't want to push. Another mistake on my part. Nope. She was already yearning to be with him. The barista had her full attention, and I didn't even know it. She was probably texting him while I was sitting right next to her on the couch watching TV. Probably making plans to meet up with him while I was at work the next day. All that distance, all that coldness. It was because her mind was already gone. She'd already checked out of our marriage, and I was too blind to see it. I work 10-hour days, sometimes 12, with an hour commute each way. But I make good money. Enough to give us a house, food, clothes. They never had to ask for anything. We had it all. Sorry I couldn't go to concerts because I was exhausted. Sorry I was too beat to hit up the movies every weekend. Maybe I should have tried harder. But why not just tell me so I can fix it instead of doing this? It's shocking. It's numbing. About our daughter. My wife didn't ask about her once last night when she came to get her stuff. Didn't check in on her. Hasn't seen her in 3 weeks. This is the same woman who used to call our daughter my sweetie, my baby, kissing her and hugging her constantly. She seemed like such a good mother. It was all fake. The whole thing was an act. Now she's ice cold. Like someone flipped a switch and she's at zero emotion. How am I supposed to explain this chapter to my daughter when she's older? It's blowing my mind. The boys are good kids. I love them. The 11-year-old is pretty mellow, but the 14-year-old has some anger issues. Can't blame him. They've been dragged through a lot in their short lives. They were finally stable with our lifestyle. Now she goes and does this. People keep asking if she's on something. She doesn't do hard stuff, at least not when we were together. She used to be a heavy weed smoker, but I don't touch the stuff, and we'd fight over it because she'd do it around our daughter. I'd be on video calls with her from work and see smoke in the background, and I'd flip out. She stopped for the last 6 months, at least when I was home. But now, from what I can see in her posts, she and this barista dude both smoke constantly. They're full-blown stoners. She's never worked a day since I've known her. Said her dream was to be a stay-at-home wife and mom. I was fine with that initially. I make decent money. I'm an operations manager pulling in about $85,000 a year. Not rich, but comfortable. Enough for us to live well if we're smart about spending. Even when she'd complain about being bored, I'd tell her she could get a part-time job, work at a store a few hours a week, do something to get out of the house and feel productive. She'd say no every single time. She really doesn't like working, if I'm being honest. Thinks it's beneath her somehow. She'd always complain about being bored or unfulfilled, but when I suggested she get a job, she acted like I was insulting her. One time, I brought up her working at the local library and she laughed in my face. Said, I didn't leave my ex just to end up working. So I have no idea what she really wanted. She'd just shut down and tell me to stay home more. That was impossible with the lifestyle we had and the bills we were paying. She's very high maintenance too. Always needed her nails done. Hair appointments every 6 weeks. New clothes constantly. Expensive skincare products. She'd spend $200 at Target on random stuff we didn't need. I never said no because I wanted her happy. I wanted our family happy. But nothing was ever good enough. New couch? She'd complain it wasn't the right color. New car? She'd complain it didn't have the features she wanted. I paid off her credit cards 3 times. Over 15 grand total. She'd promised to be better about spending and then run them right back up. I don't understand her and probably never will. Her sister told me they're living in different parks. When she showed up last night with the cops, she was grabbing every piece of clothing she could carry. A week ago, they were all in some motel. I'm guessing he paid for it because I closed all the bank accounts and reported the debit card stolen. She has no money of her own. Her ex-husband, the boy's bio dad, the story she gave me was that he was abusive and she was glad when he abandoned them. I believed her. Now I'm not so sure. I've never even met the man in 5 years, but his kids have been in my life this whole time. Yeah, I guess I was a fool. I admit I was a sucker for her looks and her fake love. She's got sisters and a mom, but she's not close with any of them, except one younger sister who's in her 20s, just graduated college, kind of living her own life. The boys don't have their bio dad in the picture, just me. So, honestly, I think if something happened to her, they'd go to foster care. I'd take them in if I could. I just don't want the drama with her. If she'd just leave me the kids and disappear, I'd be good with that so I can start healing. This is too painful. The car is in my name. I pay her phone bill too. I'm scared to turn off her phone though because the younger boy left his cell here in his room and I think the older one has his with him. My wife posted something really sad on social media and then blocked me from seeing her page because I was leaving messages. I think it was the barista who made her block me. I literally have no contact with them except today when she unblocked me just to text and call asking for money. She completely iced me out. The boys started school a few weeks ago, but now I don't think they're going because their backpacks are still in their rooms. I looked and all their clothes are here. She only came to grab more stuff for herself. I'm calling CPS tomorrow. I have to be honest, I'm scared. Don't know why I'm so afraid of her reaction, but I am. Update 1. September 8th. I met up with her at the gas station near our house. She left me a crying voicemail, and I gave in. Sorry, I'm only human. I still love her, but I'm done with her now. When I got to the gas station, I was shocked at how she looked. My wife has always been thin, but now she's straight up bony. And this woman always dressed nice, even when she was being casual. She showed up in literal sweatpants that looked like rags, but her nails were freshly done. Whatever. I gave her $200 for food and gas. Her guy was in the car with the boys. I told her I'd take the kids. Please, they can go to school, stay with me, or I'll call her family to pick them up. She said no. She wants her kids with her. Said they're no longer any of my concern. That killed me inside. I've been dad to those boys for 5 years. They call me dad. I love them with everything I have. She refused to tell me if they're even going to school. I asked about our daughter. She goes, yeah, I love her and miss her, but right now I don't want to be in her life. You need to respect that and get over it. She's better off with you. She literally said she doesn't want to be in our daughter's life. I asked if she's in love with the barista. She said yes. Made it real clear. She doesn't want to talk about it. I told her I want a divorce. She said no. She doesn't want to give me one. Doesn't even want to discuss it. Then she says I need to pay the car note on Friday. I said nope, not happening. Not paying your phone bill either. She said he'll pay her phone bill, but I need to pay the car note because it's her car. It's in my name though, so that'll be a fight later. Whatever. I'm not arguing anymore. The craziest thing, as I'm walking away, she yells, I love you, loud as heck. I didn't even turn around or say it back. That was it for me. My birthday is tomorrow, and I asked if I could take the boys out to eat with me. I'm planning on going to my favorite steakhouse with my daughter and family. I'd love for them to come. She said absolutely not. I asked if she's really sleeping in parks and why. She got upset and told me to mind my business. I called CPS. I was scared to, but I did it. This feels like it's going to be a long emotional battle, and I'm already drained. Update 2. September 8th, later that night. She's calling again. Says she wants to meet at our storage unit tomorrow so she can get her stuff out. I don't trust it. I'm not meeting her anymore. My lawyer can deal with it from now on. Update 3, September 8th, night. The younger boy called me tonight from her phone to tell me happy birthday. Weird that she's letting him use her phone to call me of all people. I asked where he was. He said they're staying at the barista's mom's house for the night. All of them in one room at this dude's mom's house. I felt like snapping, even though I'm trying to stay cold and detached. I'm beyond angry at her for putting those kids in this situation. I told him I loved him, and that was it. I'm off work for 2 weeks to take care of my daughter, so I'll handle everything important in that time. But I'm so emotionally drained. Sometimes it feels like I'm in quicksand. Update 4, busy day. Went to the school and talked with the principal. She says the boys have been going to school, but they've missed several days. I'm shocked because I didn't think they had clean clothes since their rooms still have their backpacks and most of their stuff. The principal called DCFS after I explained the situation. I called and talked to them too. I also called my wife's mother, who really couldn't care less, but at least I tried. I made a fake social media account and got photos from the older boy's page showing all 4 of them taking pictures in some dark park a few days ago. The park overlooked the city, so I was trying to figure out where it was, but it was too dark except for the camera flash. They were all smiling and taking a bunch of pics. That's proof they're sleeping in random parks and living unstable. Still trying to find the right lawyer. Called a few places. The younger boy called last night to wish me happy birthday. Said they were at the barista guy's mom's house, sleeping for the night. That's all he told me before hanging up. Haven't heard from any of them since, even though she claimed yesterday I needed to meet her at the storage unit. Update 5, September 10th. She showed up at the house Friday night demanding car payment money. I told her I wasn't paying it. She said she wants to talk about coming back to me. I said no. I don't want you here. Please leave. There's no car payment money. I'm not paying it. She refused to leave and brought the boys into the house. I called the cops. They came and she told them it was her house too. I explained the situation. They asked her to leave and she agreed. As she was pulling out of the driveway, I saw a van at the end of the street. The barista was driving it, waiting for her. Our daughter wasn't home this weekend. She likes staying with my mom, so I'm glad she didn't see the drama. Her mom didn't even ask about her or how she was doing. I told the cops the boys were living in her car, and they need to check it out because she has everything piled in the back seat, plus a dog living in there. She lied and said they're living in a motel, and all that stuff was from moving out of the house. She went outside and talked to the cops. I'm so over the drama. When she came in the house, she was acting weird. It was nighttime and she had sunglasses on. I told her to take them off. She had a black eye. I asked what happened and she said it was from lack of sleep. Nope. I didn't pay the car payment. I feel guilty, but people want me to report it stolen. I feel like the kids are going through enough trauma. The principal and CPS have all the info. I wouldn't mind taking the boys in and raising them myself, but I feel like right now they'd be better off with her family, since they're aware of the situation. Tonight I get a message from her asking if I can pay for medicine, because they're all coming down with the flu or something. I ignored it. Then my daughter called and she did sound stuffy, so I agreed to meet at the pharmacy. We met. He wasn't with her. I bought them medicine and some food. She asked if we could talk. I said no. As soon as I got home, the younger boy texted from her phone asking if he can visit me next week. I said I don't know. He should focus on school and I'll see them soon. This is draining me. I'm thinking of blocking her number until I meet with my lawyer next week. I feel extremely guilty not paying the car payment, but I'm standing my ground. Update 6, September 11th. She's back begging to come home. Says she's sorry. Says she broke up with the barista. She called asking me to pick up the older boy. He told me he's tired of sleeping in the car and tried to run away. I told him he can come home. He's here now with me. I'm so happy. The younger one, well, he wants to stay with mom. He's only 11 and he keeps saying the barista guy is fun and cool. It hurts, but whatever. Kids don't understand. Shortly after, I got a text saying she's sorry and it was a bad decision. She says she's been alone this past week, talking about ending her life, says she's done. I told her she can't come here. I'm sorry the barista is treating her badly, but she made her choice. She said she had a nervous breakdown and mental issues and didn't know what to do but run. I didn't respond, but I got my stepson back and I'm happy about that at least. Update 7, September 18th. My wife is still on the streets with this guy, and now the younger boy. The older one wanted to come home. He was tired of living on the streets, so he begged. She agreed, and I agreed. The younger boy wanted to stay with his mom initially, but then he decided last week to come home too. He was home for all of 2 days when he came home from school one afternoon and just ran away. We found him underneath a bridge close to our house. He's going through serious issues and I'm trying to get him help. I'm filing for divorce. When I told my wife, she cried and said she's sad, but she's in love with the barista. A few days ago, she called me crying saying the barista is acting up. He told her he feels like he's taking on too much with her and needs to take a step back. He's only 23 and said he felt the connection at first, but now he just wants to focus on himself. She came and got the boys and all their clothes. Says she's going to LA to get into some homeless program there. I asked her not to take the kids. She said no, she wants them with her. She thanked me for everything. Then she asked if we could talk about getting back together. I calmly told her no. That won't happen. She hurt me too bad, and I can't just go back. I forgive her, but I'm numb now. I just want a divorce and to raise the kids. I told her we could at least co-parent so they can be happy without us being together. She left. I got a call this morning. She said she was going to harm herself today. Thanked me again. Said she's done with living. Everyone has hurt her. She tried to make me feel guilty. I called the cops and explained she has the boys and is threatening to harm herself. I don't know where she is. Every time I feel a little closer to being myself and happy, she does something that pulls me back into this darkness. The stress will kill me for sure. Update 8, September 24th. She didn't harm herself. She just went missing for a few days. Then she dropped the boys off at our doorstep. They're safely with me now. All 3 kids are back in routine, eating consistently every day, taking showers, having fun in our backyard like kids should. Our 4-year-old is smiling again. She loves having her brothers here. Last night, they all begged me to order pizza and watch a movie. I said yes. This was the happiest I've been in months. Just looking at my kids laughing and having a good time. I'm content right now, but I still have anxiety she'll show up and snatch them away. I've been in constant contact with CPS just in case, because I have a strong feeling she's coming around soon. She's only called once since dropping them off. Told me she's with her boyfriend and they're more in love than ever. Says he's inspired her to get a job and start making her own money so they can get a place together. Then she'll come back for the boys. Right now, she's supporting his dreams and he's supporting hers? Sure. Okay, cool. She also apologized about threatening to harm herself. Said she was just stressed. I'm done with her nonsense. Just focused on me and the kids. I'm planning on taking them on a mini vacation at the end of October. Thinking Disney World. Her phone bill was due Friday. Verizon sent me a reminder. I didn't pay it. I called to see if I can get out of the contract because not paying will eventually hit my credit report. I'll probably have to pay money to break the contract either way. She's costing me money no matter what. Oh, and get this. Her weed dealer showed up at our house. I had no idea who this guy was or what he wanted. Saw him on the doorbell camera and asked what was up. He says he needs to talk to my wife. I said that's not my wife anymore. We're divorcing. Who are you? He says, can he come to the door? It's urgent. I said no. He tells me my wife ran up a weed tab close to $2,000 and hasn't paid him. He wants his money. I'm floored. He said my wife told him I'd pay him. I said no, I have nothing to do with this. Leave. He says if he sees my wife, it's going to be problems. I immediately called her, and she sent me to voicemail. Great. Some other mess she's dragged me into. I'm thinking of calling the cops to tell them my wife is giving out our address to dangerous people who are showing up at my door. Final update. October 6th. If you don't know my story, check the earlier parts. Quick recap. My wife left me and our 4-year-old daughter for a barista she met at a coffee shop. She's been homeless with this guy while I put my life back together. Last weekend, the older boy got sick. Started complaining about stomach pain Friday night. By Saturday morning, he was crying and couldn't even stand up straight. I had to rush him to the ER around 6 a.m. They ran tests and said he has appendicitis. Needs his appendix removed right away or it could rupture. Emergency surgery. I called his mom immediately, left 3 voicemails, sent 5 texts. Finally, she called back. Took her about 40 minutes to show up at the hospital. She walks in with the barista, both of them looking rough, like they'd been up all night. Immediately, I'm heated. My blood pressure shot through the roof. I told him to leave because I had my 4-year-old and the younger stepson with me sitting in the waiting room. I don't need this guy around my kids. Don't need them seeing him and getting confused about who he is or why he's there. He's acting all calm and collected, puts his hands up like he's trying to de-escalate, tells me we need to go somewhere and talk man to man, that we're both adults and we can handle this maturely. I told him no. I have nothing to say to him. He ruined my family. He took my wife. He's got my stepsons living in a car. There's nothing to discuss. I want him gone. The whole time my soon-to-be ex-wife is telling me to stop, telling me I'm making a scene, telling me to calm down. She doesn't even rush to the back to check on our stepson, who's about to have emergency surgery. Doesn't ask the nurses how he's doing. Doesn't ask me what the doctors said. She just stands there trying to console the barista, rubbing his arm, telling him it's okay. Like he's the victim here. Like he's the one whose life got destroyed. I could tell the kids were getting upset. My 4-year-old started crying. The younger stepson looked scared. So I took them and went to another part of the hospital. Left her standing there holding on to her barista boyfriend. The doctor said the surgery would be that morning. Her mom heard this and asked how long it would take because her new guy has to go to work and she's his ride. I told her to just go, leave, take him to work. At this point, I'd been at the hospital over 2 hours, and my stepson had been crying in stomach pain all night before we came. My wife says, okay, she'll be back before he goes into surgery. She'll just drop the barista at work. That was last week. We haven't seen her since. She never came back to the hospital. She did call yesterday to ask how the surgery went and if she can come get some food. I told her if she shows up, I'm calling the cops. I've also demanded she surrender the vehicle she's in that I pay for and is in my name, or I'll get the cops involved. I'm beyond over her. So disgusted. When I made that first post, yeah, I had a little hope she'd come back to me. Now I have nothing for her. She even told me on the phone I sound more harsh with her. I am. She doesn't deserve kindness. I'm trying to get full custody of these kids. Yeah, they're my stepkids, but I won't let them go back with her under any circumstances. She'll have to call the cops on me first. I can tell the kids are conflicted. They love her, of course. They want the old her back. But she's gone. Gone in love. Gone in whatever she's on. Gone in La La Land. That's the truth, and I've accepted it. I have a divorce lawyer. She says she'll never sign the papers. Doesn't want a divorce. Wants me to understand she's just going through a life crisis and to accept it. I don't care. She can do what she wants, but she can't drag us into it anymore. The locks were changed on Monday. She has no place here. No home to come back to. The car will be out of her possession soon. When I pay off her phone bill, she'll have nothing tying her to us. I finally realized the reason she was able to continue hurting us was because I was still waiting for that old person I fell in love with to show up. But that old person didn't just leave. This is who she was all along. By enabling her and allowing her access to me and the kids, I was damaging everyone. She has to be cut off completely. It's scary because legally I never adopted the boys, so she can take them anytime. I'm ready to fight when it comes down to it. I'm free. I cried one last time and smiled right after. I feel good even as she continues to try and hurt us. We'll continue to be a family. Just the 4 of us. These kids are amazing and deserve the best the world has to offer. I don't respect her as a woman or as a mother. My wife has a younger sister she was close to. They'd talk every day when my wife was her old self. Her sister called me crying. She hasn't spoken to my wife in weeks. My wife blocked her own sister on social media. My wife's mom said she's on something, and all they can do is pray. Apparently, her and the barista have been seen around town begging for money and food. They're staying in some rundown motel across town, and when they can't afford that, they sleep in the car. Oh, and she told me she pawned her wedding rings. Both rings I got her. Gone. Straight up told me to my face. The good news is my wife's family doesn't want to take care of the boys because they have their own lives. Nobody is fighting me to take them. My wife agreed weeks ago the boys will stay with me until she finds a stable home. She said she might go into a homeless program and will be back for them then. I'm filing emergency custody next week. My 4-year-old had a hard time in the beginning and still has her moments. Sometimes she asks for her mom, usually when she's sleepy, or randomly she'll ask where mommy is. When she saw her at the hospital, she didn't react how I thought she would. Maybe because she was tired. She was looking at her mom kind of suspicious. My wife acknowledged her for a few seconds, came up and rubbed her arm, said hi. My daughter was silent. That was their only exchange. I took the kids to another part of the hospital after that and left her with her barista. We're moving forward. Just us 4. That's all we need. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.